Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's Walmart,
and jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
We love that we get to record Sewing Club podcast on Turrbal and Yuggera country. We pay our respects to their elders past and present.
Welcome to the Sewing Club, everyone.
It's like a book club, but for sewing.
I'm Gemma from Sewing Gem.
And I'm Kylie from Kylie and the Machine. And this episode is all about the Sia Dress from Marsha Style. So what have you been up to?
Well, you know, it's been the Christmas holidays, been just having a bit of time off, chilling with the family. I've had my brother over from the UK, which has been great, and my uncle and auntie. So, yeah, just having a bit of family time, really, and looking forward to getting back to Sewing Gem.
That sounds lovely. I've also had a good Christmas break. As much as I love working, leading up to Christmas is always the most intense time of the year, and it makes you really grateful for that forced time off. And I'm ready to get back into it though. It's a new year and we have lots planned at KATM.
Exciting, yeah. I always breathe a little sigh of relief once the Black Friday sales are over. They're as great as they are. It's a really busy time for us too. So, it was a good Christmas, chance to recover and have a bit of downtime and ready to go again.
Oh, we basically start everything, like all of our product stuff that we're doing at the end of the year, we are working on it at the beginning of the year. So basically when we go back to work, we'll be working on the end of 2024 stuff. So it actually feels crazy to work that far in advance, but there's only a couple of us that do the product development, so we have to work on it all year round.
Cool. So how many of you are there in the team that work on the product development?
It's just Sally and I.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool.
We have the concepts and we also do all the design work and we also do all the negotiating with suppliers and dealing with anything that goes wrong and also, managing stock and things like that. And then we have another lady that does, Sophie, she does all of our photos and content and socials and emails. And we have another lady who, Alicia, she does all our packing. And we've got a couple of casuals as well that help us with tasks. But yeah, it's a really small operation for what we get done. There's never time to rest, ever.
I can imagine. It sounds like you're super busy.
Yeah. And there's always delays. There's always problems.
Of course.
Every single thing that we
Yeah.
do. There's always some curveball that we have to deal with. And that's just part of running a business. And somehow we always end up laughing at the end.
Yeah.
But that's how we operate. It's all very spontaneous and flying by the seat of
One's pants.
seat of the pants. Yes, it's it's hour by hour. But I love this. I love sewing, and I'm glad that we started this because it not only has it made me make some patterns that I've been wanting to make, but it's actually given me my sojo back, and I've made some other things separate from the podcast that I've been worrying about, and it makes me really happy.
I completely agree. And I am someone that needs a bit of a deadline, otherwise it just doesn't get done. So I'm actually completing garments, which is, really good. Things I can actually wear.
Yeah, and toiles.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been very cheeky with the toiles.
Why?
I haven't been doing them.
Oh, we're very different on that front, aren't we? Because I do it for everything.
But I must admit that last time I came over, I got to try on the bodice of your Sia dress that you had made a toile for.
Yeah.
And it made me realise how much I miss social sewing that we used to do, because we would make things and then we'd all try on each other's garments and then it would give us a little bit of an idea of what that would be like on us. And then it got me thinking, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a pattern company that had all the garments and you could go and try them on in your size and work out what adjustments you needed and then, how much time that would save us? I mean,
be amazing.
Hey, Gemma.
Kylie.
How would you describe the Sia dress for those listeners that have never seen it before?
So it is a dress with two lengths. You've got the mini length and the midi length. It's got sleeves, and again, there are two options on the sleeves. You've got a tie on one version and then like an elasticated longer sleeve. It's got tucks on the bodice where the bust is, and a tie around the waist, and quite a low cut V at the front of the bodice.
Yes, quite low.
Which, you know, might not be for everyone. There is the option to add a hook and eye, and I think, well, I know that both Kylie and I did decide to actually sew up that front bit a little bit because it was a bit low for us, I think.
And I think there's another pattern that's very popular in the sewing community. It's a Vogue pattern, and it's gorgeous, but pretty much, I mean, I think 90% of the people that sewn it actually ended up adjusting that bit. So it was just a little bit easier to wear rather than, you know, risking exposing yourself.
I wish I could wear it about that low. Two children on, I'm not quite there, but I'm sure there are some people.
It's nice to look at when you're still in the mirror, but I think if you're planning on bending and moving, I would prefer to have a little bit more coverage. But I mean, if you wanted to wear something like this for an event,
you just get your tape out.
Yeah, just get that Hollywood tape or whatever it's called.
Exactly.
Because it does look stunning when you do wear it with the full low, deep V.
And I completely get why it was drafted like that, because it's got quite a lot of sleeve and everything, and that really deep V just kind of adds something to it. And I can see that a sort of more evening version of this with my boob tape would be perfect.
Yeah. There's that old saying, you know, you don't show your boobs and your legs and your arms all at once. Yeah. I mean, look, those rules are very outdated.
Loose.
But I think, like, for me personally, I either would like to have like a short skirt and long sleeves and be covered up the top, or the other way around. And I get this is, you feel quite covered up in every other way. So it makes sense that there is a bit of a plunging neckline there to give it that sexiness.
Yeah, I think it does need that. Yeah, absolutely.
So we talked to Therese from Marsha Style the other day, and we asked her a bunch of questions about her background in the fashion industry and also the inspiration for this garment and what she's been working on for future.
I think I'm right in saying that the Sia dress is actually your first pattern.
Yes.
And I'd love to know what it was that inspired the Sia dress.
It's funny. I think when I think back to what inspired the Sia dress, I wanted to do a pattern of a dress that had some like little technical abilities to it. And I think even just what I do in my line of work, I'm always looking out into the market of what sort of is out there and what trends are happening and what dresses are around. And it was just a dress that I like, that style of dress. I'd seen it across a few different labels, and I was like, I really, really like that. And then it was just taking that and making an interpretation of it. I thought it was something that was relevant, but it's also something that's timeless. And I liked that it had a few elements to it that weren't everyday elements at that moment in time. So I think, that was kind of like my little inspiration for it. And it was a dress that you can dress up and you can dress down. And I think it suits sort of multiple fabric types. And I knew it would test sewers. Like, I think the lined and the unlined version definitely has different tricks and traits to it, but I knew it would be something that probably would be a slight challenge to sewers. Yeah.
And in actual fact, because I did a 12 first, I've actually got a top version of it, and I was like, actually, this is a great top. I would totally wear this with the skirt. You know, you're right. It's sort of these standalone elements almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know how many copies of the Sia dress that you've actually sold?
I have. I've sold about 1,100.
Wow.
That number. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I did look that stat up tonight.
Very good.
Awesome. But there's quite a lot on Instagram that I've seen in the hashtag. Like, it's been sewn and shown. It's not just people buying it and popping it away.
No, I think so. I think it's definitely a pattern that people do. They do end up sewing, and I think when they sew one, they can make the little tweaks for what they might need into the second version of it. And I think they realise that I think one of the comments I always like is that it's something that you can really immerse yourself in. So
I'm intrigued to know how you have time to do the pattern making side of your own business and then also have a job as well. I mean, how do you juggle it all?
It probably, when I look back at when I started, when the Sia Dress was released, it was actually just as we were about to go into like COVID closures. Because I remember I looked back on my post of the first one. I was like, I know it's not a great time to launch a dress, but it actually ended up being an amazing time to launch a dress because we were all spending a little bit more time at home. I think my work life has evolved a lot over the last 4 years or 3 years since that was released. So I felt like I probably had that little bit more time back then. I don't know whether it was a combination of working, we kind of had that little bit of flexibility when all that was going on, and my job probably wasn't as demanding back then. Yeah, so I that's probably one thing I do miss a little tiny bit. I haven't been able to kind of sew as much as what I would like to, but I do have little plans in my head of what the next pattern is going to be.
Exciting.
and speaking of your work, can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I know you work in the fashion industry.
Yes, yeah. I work for Billabong Women's in Australia, and my current role is merchant. I come up with the architecture of the line for what the designers design into. So I look at how collections have sold in the past. I look at what's currently selling in store, and then come up with the architecture of like, we need 20 dresses, we need 10 T-shirts, we need this, we need that to hit a sales target, and then the design team design into that.
So tell me first of all, where does the name Marsha Style come from? Is that a person or
it's really boring. My last name is Marsh, and I get really stuck for like what I'm going to call things. So it's just like Marsha Style, and it's really, I was like racking things around in my brain for ages, going could be this, and I actually have no doubt that one day I will rebrand. I haven't got to that point yet, and I want to make sure that when I do rebrand that it's something that is really special and important. And there's also a lot of work that goes behind rebranding when you come to websites and all of those sorts of things. So I'm just waiting until I get it really right to make sure that I when I do it next time, that it's going to be kind of like the life thing that stays.
We know all about that, don't we, Jenny?
Yeah, it's so tricky. And I also too think it's kind of like, you want to make sure that you don't lose any of what you've already created when you do that rebranding too. So it's sort of, and branding's probably not my strong point. I'm a facts and figures and nutting things out, and the marketing is probably the thing that I struggle with the most. So, yeah.
Self-promotion.
It's hard.
Well, speaking of promotion, what about when Mimi G sewed your dress?
That was amazing. It's another like I didn't even know that the sewing world existed in the way that it existed. And I picked up a book by Gary V on it was one of his books that Mimi G was featured in, and it blew me away. I was just like, what is there like a person that sews and does all this stuff online? And then that I kind of got a little bit of I was like, oh my God, there's a whole world out here that really suits me, and I can't believe I don't know anything about it. So then I went down a rabbit hole of like, yay, there are so many people sewing. There are so many people loving sewing. It was amazing. I really feel like that was a point that changed a little bit my perception of, I don't know, because I don't know about you, but me, I don't have friends that sew, so people don't really get it. And it just felt like a really beautiful community. And I love that, the community for me is global. Like I have amazing sewing friends all over the world that I'm extremely grateful to have in my life and to be involved with. And it was just, and I guess Mimi G she's just like, she kind of became a bit of a,
Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, He needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's
and
Walmart,
jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Like, not, I don't know if hero is the word, but I was like, I'm so glad that there's that there is this person that's really promoting sewing. And I just even think the joy that sewing can bring to people's lives and the way that Mimi has really made this amazing community from what she's done is out. Yeah, it's incredible. So yes, when she did, I didn't even know she was sewing it. So I stumbled across it.
No way. So it was a surprise.
It was a surprise.
When I saw that happen, I was like, "Yay, Cherie, that's it."
Yeah, that is so cool.
It was definitely a very big fangirl moment of that's pretty cool. So yeah. And I don't know her very well at all, but I said I was very grateful for what she did, and I just think that she's such a supportive person in the community. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pattern?
Mine is the Sia, hands down the Sia. Yeah. I've got fabric in the cupboard to make another Sia.
Awesome. How many do you own?
I've probably had about 5. I have moved some on, and I've had them in different lengths and different sleeve types and things like that, and different fabrics. But I think this will probably be my 6th one once I sew it.
So did you make any adjustments to yours, or what size did you make?
Oh, I made loads of adjustments actually, but I am quite particular about, and that's why I do make a 12, because I like to be able to do that. So I made a straight size 6. I think I must just be a little bit odd proportionally, because I generally have to make similar adjustments to most patterns. So what did I do? I did make a slight adjustment on the bust. I added to the pleat on the bust. I also curved the centre back seam at the top of my neck.
Oh, I did the same thing.
All that looking over computers, I think that must be. But anyway.
No one's got a straight
back.
Straight up and down back.
Yeah. I did the one that I always do, or seem to have to do, a broad shoulder adjustment. And I took a little bit out between where the bodice met the shaped waistband, because it had a bit of excess there. And I think they were the main. I did pinch a little bit out under the arms, and I lowered the armhole very slightly. Other than that,
that's really only like tweaking it.
It was tweaks, exactly right. It was tweaks,
and that's why we make our own clothes.
And I suppose we both sewed up the front as well. Was the other?
Yes. I didn't even put, because I tried on your 12 and I knew that it pretty much fit. So I just did my usual adjustments. I took an inch out of the, sorry, I don't know what that is in metric, because my ruler at home is
2.5.
Yeah. I took an inch out of the length of the bodice, front and back, but then I needed to make some more adjustment to the fullness of the area. And I was a little bit confused because usually if it's a typical dart, then it's a little bit like standard, but this has got these different ways of adding fullness. But I looked on the Marsha Style website, and her videos to show how to make those adjustments are really great. And she goes into a lot of detail, and if you're having any adjustment issues or you're going to have to remove or add, I'd say that the pattern itself would probably be like a C cup.
Yeah, I agree, because I had to do a slight adjustment.
Even bigger than that? Like there's quite a lot of volume
C
there.
to D, I'd say.
It's quite, so
it
I
does
think
say to double D in the instructions, but I feel like maybe it was more like a D.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'd gone up a size, it would have been better. I don't know, yeah.
I've got small bust, so like when I put it on, I was like, oh, it kind of feels like I'm wearing like my mum's dress when I'm a little girl. Like it just had so much fabric there. But then when I looked at and I hadn't made a toile, of course. So what I did is I watched the video, and then I was able to make some adjustments to it after I'd sewed it. I had to do some unpicking, but it was worthwhile. And
good.
I didn't realize. Okay, so here's my process. I was like, I don't want to make a toile, so I'm going to make the lining, and then I'm going to try on the lining and see if that fits. And then I cut the lining out of the pattern piece that is meant for the fashion fabric, and then I tried on the lining. It fit pretty good. And then I realized that the lining is actually a different pattern piece altogether, and it has actual darts. And that's actually really good. Like, it's so detailed.
It's really well drafted, actually. That's really, and I don't think it would matter that you didn't have the darts in the lining. It's not the end of the world, but it does sort of just add to that level of finish on the inside, which is really nice.
I really appreciate that. I mean, I printed out the book. There's just so much information at the beginning. In fact, like the pattern cutting diagrams, there's like pages and pages and pages of those.
So detailed.
Do you ever really look at those, or do you just...
No.
Jigsaw it?
Jigsaw it?
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes I regret that. When I get near the end and I'm really close, I'm like, oh, sugar, I should have looked at the I should have looked at the layout pattern. But, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends how much fabric I've got. If I know it's really tight, then I will.
Yeah.
But if not, then I just usually go for it. Because I have to admit, I did mix up the order a little bit with this as well, because I like to put my zipper in not right at the end. I prefer to do it in the middle. So I did sort of tweak things a little bit in terms of order. So I cut all my bodice pieces, and then I cut my back bodice pieces to put my zip in. And then when I got to cutting my front skirt pieces, I was like, am I going to have enough? But luckily I did. So.
Yeah. And it does have like a placket at the front.
Yes.
Skirt, and that's kind of optional. I notice in some of the pictures that even like in Therese pictures of her samples, that she's made one without that. But I do like that feature of it because it does give you a sort of a front slit, which is good for airflow and just easier to walk in, because I also chose the midi. And what I really liked about the lining is I love how you attach the lining to the bodice with that front chest, the front V and the back, and then you understitch it. And the thing about understitching is you never, ever, ever want to not do it if it says to do it, right? Like if you didn't understitch that, it would just be flapping all over the place.
You'd see the lining, basically.
You'd see the lining.
Yeah.
Like understitching is one of the most important steps in sewing a lined garment. And I really like the finish because it's clean.
Yeah.
And the fact that you sew the rest of the bodice and the sleeves, in one, like the lining and the fashion fabric together, that's really good because it holds everything in place.
Yeah.
I don't like, you did a full lining though. Did you fully line the sleeve or did you join it here?
I joined it there. I didn't do a full lining I lined the sleeve and then I lined the bodice as per the instructions, and then I joined it as two separate pieces, which I decided to do because whilst I thought it was fine where the facing for the ties on the sleeve, I just thought that the finish would look better if it was a fully lined sleeve. So that was the reason for doing that.
We're picky about the insides when we make our own thing. If this dress was in a shop
so true,
and it had those ties on the sleeve, you wouldn't be looking inside going, oh, I can see some overlocking in there. But when you're making your own, you think, how can I make this even better? And I love that you went the extra mile and lined the sleeves as well. But then you said to me before that it makes it a bit hot to wear right now.
Oh, absolutely. It makes it hot. And actually, with my toile, when I was making it, I did look in the mirror and think to myself, before I'd put the sleeves on, I'd really like a sleeveless version. I would wear a sleeveless version of this, probably more because, the climate here obviously is very hot and I tend to wear sleeveless stuff. So I'm almost tempted to unpick my sleeves on my toile top version.
Oh, you've made such an effort with those lined sleeves. Though.
No, not the lined ones, the other ones.
Oh, the toile one that
the
you're going to
toile
make
one,
into.
yeah. Maybe not, I don't know.
Well, I've seen lots of people with many different versions and hacks and things that they've done. And yeah, I actually changed the sleeves as well. I didn't do the tie or the long sleeve, but I knew I wanted short sleeve, but I just didn't think I wanted the tie, even though I love the look of them. And that was kind of what drew me to the pattern initially. But I realized that I prefer things not dangling and touching and tickling my arm. So I decided to cut the other sleeve, which was the long sleeve, and I shortened it. And then I added like a little similar kind of pleat to the sleeve. So because I'm just making this up as I'm sewing it, I'm just kind of not sure where it's going to go. So I made the sleeve large and then I put it on and then I sort of worked out where I would want that extra pleat to go. And then I finished it with bias. And that's what we talked about with the sagebrush top. We could have done that. And then as I was making this, I thought to myself, Gemma's going to be happy about these notches.
I was very happy with my notches, yes.
Because these notches on the pattern were telling you exactly where you needed to put those gathers.
Gathers, I was very happy about that.
Yes.
I am a rule follower.
Yeah. I think with Teresa's background in, fashion and doing things the right way, that she's very good like that. And when I look at her videos and listening to all her adjustment tips, it's very clear to me that she's quite experienced. And she also says in the pattern, if you have any questions, you can contact her, which that's great.
Really, I mean, all those videos, there's so much work involved in that. And really, it's such a great resource for anybody who's not sure about whether or not they'll have the skill set to be able to do the pattern, because you've literally got step-by-step instructions all available to you on the website. I mean, that's a huge thing for her to be doing, and it's really, really helpful. Because, I mean, even in the instructions, the bit that I suppose if you're just starting out that might trip you up is, for example, the invisible zipper. Maybe you haven't done many of those, but she even gives a YouTube link to a video to, if you're a visual person, you need to see it being done. There's a link there for you to follow step by step to get your zipper in, So it's just really, really helpful.
So I want to know more about this doing the zipper in the middle, not the end thing. What's going on with that?
Well, I prefer to not have the neckline completely finished at the top when I put my invisible zipper in. So what I actually did when I sewed the neckline, I actually left 5 centimetres on each side of the lining and the fashion fabric not sewn.
Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's Walmart,
and jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?
Attached just the back skirt, did my method of putting in my invisible zipper.
Which is what? Well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. And then I sort of carried on. So actually that was from step 13. So I think I actually noted it in the instruction booklet. So at step 13, I attached my back skirt, leaving it unsewn a few centimetres at the neckline, inserted my zipper, and then I went back and finished the top of the zipper. And the reason I do that, I suppose, I just think I get a better finish on the zipper before the garment is completely made, particularly at the top. Yeah. It's also just, I guess, how I've been taught and what I do. But the instructions are perfectly, as putting the zipper in at the end is perfectly fine. It's just personal preference. So
yeah, I also left a couple of centimetres. I left about 2 centimetres because the invisible zipper is around about that 5/8, 1.5 centimetres. And yeah, if you do the understitching all the way to the edge, when you try and do the lining, there's always a bit of a weird thing happening. And once again, would be fine if you had that. But if we're just trying to get it as perfect as possible, right? We're trying.
Yeah. And I think, when you've got a method that works and you can get a zipper in really well, you kind of don't really want to mess with it too much. So that was the reason why I did that. So when I put my invisible zipper on or in, you'll have to tell me your method as well, Kylie. I normally sew where the zipper is going. I measure it all out. I sew where the zipper is going with long stitches. Then I sew from where that ends to the bottom of the skirt with normal stitch. Then I will put the zipper in with just a normal zipper foot.
So you're stay stitching like the seam?
Yeah, stay stitch the seam together. And then I pin the zip in where it will go and just stitch on the side of the tape with a normal zipper foot just to the seam allowance. Then I unpick those stitches down to where the bottom of the zip is, and then I use my invisible zipper foot to then put it in place.
So is that how you avoid stuff not lining up at the bottom where it joins?
The idea as well is because there's quite a few seams on there, and whilst mine isn't exactly perfect, it was pretty close, that have to line up across the zip. The idea is that if you stay stitch it and then do it that way, is that hopefully they'll be lined up when you then do the final stitching.
Yeah, because even though the fabric is cut on the straight grain, there's still an element of stretching that can happen.
Yeah, things move, you know, and mine's pretty close. It's not perfect. It's probably a mil whatever out here and there, but it's close enough visually that when you're wearing it and that you wouldn't see too much of a difference.
I do similar, but the stay stitching is I usually use interfacing, and then I just mark on the zipper where the waist seam is, or where because in this one you have two seams to line up at the back, and then I do the rest of the thing the same.
You do the same. Yeah. So I do the marking as well. I think that's actually really important with this dress, to mark on the zipper tape where that zipper tape needs to go to line up with those seams.
Yeah, because it's a full waistband that you want to look straight from behind.
Yeah, you don't want one 1 centimetre.
Yeah, you don't want an offset waistband.
And again, you'd probably find that in the shop and you wouldn't even notice. But when you're sewing it yourself, you notice.
and I noticed that you did the ties, the waist ties on yours. I chose not to because I'm just trying to get it to fit me perfectly enough that I don't feel like it needs a tie. But if you wanted to make it a bit looser for like Christmas feasting and things like that, and then you can have the tie to tie it up nice and tight, but then you could loosen the tie, or if you made it and it was a little bit too loose, then you could tighten it. But I wanted it to be quite fitted. Yeah,
and mine is fairly fitted and probably didn't need the tie, but I quite like the tie. I haven't tried this, but I was thinking you could also tie it just at the back with a longer bow, or shorten it and just have a back tie. And it also hides if you do have your zipper, the seams on the zipper, if you fill out, then the tie will hide all of that, so you don't have to worry.
But literally no one is going to notice.
Yeah, true.
It's only us. And even if you went to a sewing event and you saw other people sewing things, you're not looking for their mistakes either. You're just looking at the overall look of everything.
Do you know what you should do if you have a few mistakes in a garment and, you keep thinking about them when you're wearing them? Yeah. This is my theory. You put them in the wardrobe, you leave them for like 4 to 6 months, and then you come back and you pull it out and you go, oh, yeah, this is amazing. I'm going to wear this. You've completely forgotten.
Have you tested that 4 to 6 months? Like 1 month is not enough?
I don't know. I think you need however long it takes you to forget.
Yeah, you forget about all the troubles that it caused you. Pull it out and, look at this. Instant
a new dress.
Garment. Instant garment, yes. Do you have a naughty corner?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a whole wardrobe full. No. Yeah, I do.
What do you do with them?
Well, currently they're just sort of folded up in baskets, and one day I'll go back to them.
One day, yeah.
One day.
I've got a couple of things that I've made and I've worn them a few times, and for whatever reason they're kind of like, I'm going to alter this about it. I'm going to change the sleeves. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They are the ones that take me forever to get to.
Yeah. The other thing that most of mine are in the naughty corner for, and this is probably particularly early days of sewing, but even now sometimes, I just pick the wrong fabric. And I just don't like it. Not necessarily the print, I mean the actual like properties of the fabric aren't how I want them to be for that particular garment. So it's never going to probably get any better, but I can't quite bring myself to just chuck it away, but I probably need to.
Because
use
there's a
the
lot
fabric
to consider.
for something.
You've got the feeling of it and then the look of it, and then you've got
drape.
The drape. And then you've got the fact that we don't have access to every fabric that, the fashion industry has.
Yeah.
So we're just doing the best we can with what we can.
I think that's a really good point, actually, particularly as a lot of shops on the high street and things, clothes and what have you, it's really hard to access fabrics that, we know what we need sometimes, but we can't always find what we want.
Yeah, and there's certain things for me that I just don't make. Like I don't make board shorts for my boys because it's just impossible to find that kind of fabric. Or sometimes, even knits, the cost per meter and the knits just don't last as long as woven, so it's hard to find that kind of fabric that's like perfect for the thing. And we're going to sew some knits in the
I'm really
episodes.
Excited because for me, to be honest, I do spend my day to day in knit fabric, in T-shirts, in vest tops. That's a lot of my staple wardrobe. So I'm really excited to make something that will be something I can wear every day.
Yeah. And what fabric did you use? It's a beautiful...
I used quite a soft checked linen in like a pale purple lilac colour. And it's very soft and very easy to wear.
Yes. And
How
I
about
made
you?
mine in a cotton lawn, which is a really fine, like a thin cotton. It's really actually quite similar to like Liberty cotton, but it's from a company in France called Madame Iris.
That's beautiful.
And I had 2 and a bit meters, and I was waiting for the podcast to sew something that needed that much. And it matches nicely with yours. It's got purple and kind of green palm trees on it. So we'll match in our
We're going to
photo
be
shoot.
very coordinated.
We're not going to be blue and black.
No. Finally, we've branched away from those colours. My fabric was actually from Sewing Gems, so we've got quite a few check linens there. I actually made my toile in the navy version, which then I had a moment. I was like, maybe I should make it in the navy. And I was like, no, I'm going to carry on with the soft purple colour. So glad
I think it looks gorgeous. It looks like a beautiful like Easter dress or something.
Yeah, I could totally see me wearing that at Easter. Yeah, I like that. Am I going to save that now?
Because I'm looking at your dress. It's gorgeous. It's full linen. Imagine how much that would be at a shop. A fully lined linen dress at the shops. It would be like hundreds of dollars. And, you've made it out of like under $100 worth of stuff. And, a lot of time. How much time did it take you?
Oh, look, a long time because I do work quite a bit on the fit, and I think that is for me what often takes the time, because once you know the pattern, you know exactly how it needs to be, you can just get on, you can chunk it up. I'm going to do this tonight, I'm going to do that tonight, I'm going to get the zipper in, and that's I find quite easy, but it's the tweaking with the fit that always takes me the time. How long did it take me? Oh gosh, I'm not sure.
Took me ages.
What do you reckon? Like 15 hours?
Yeah, it took me a long
Easy.
Yeah. Took me a very long time. I think I took longer to cut out this bodice than I've ever, because I was trying to not pattern match, but I was trying to like choose where I was cutting it so that the pattern, because I've got palm trees and I wanted to make it look like it had been thoughtfully cut, and that took a while.
And I also had a similar thing, probably not quite as tricky as the palm trees, but obviously having checks, they're not perfectly matched, but they are matched in places. I wanted to try and like roughly line them up, but I didn't have that much fabric excess. So I had to, like down the centre of the skirt, I wanted to try and line that up to a point. But of course, you add in pleats and things and, curves, and
it looks great.
But I think working with checks can be, good and bad.
Yeah, because you've got a guide.
You've got a guide, so you can use those checks.
But if you get a bit of a wobbly seam,
then everyone knows.
Well, not everyone.
Well, I know.
Yeah. Well, the pockets. Let's talk about the pockets. They're a little bit small.
Yeah, they did fit a phone though. I did do the Kylie test.
Yeah, I did not make mine larger because I looked at it and I thought that's not big enough, but I didn't make it larger because I thought I'm not going to be using it. Like, think about where I'm going to be wearing this. I'm not going to be putting a phone in it. I'm going to be having a purse or something. So it's more of a hand pocket or like a put your car key in it or something like that.
I think for me it's a hand pocket. Like when I put it on, I want to naturally put my hands in and just, I don't know, hang out with my hands in my pockets. But I can't see me putting a great deal in there. You're right. If I'm going to be wearing this dress, I'll probably have a nice handbag or something with me.
Yeah. So I think that for, dresses that you're going to wear out to lunch or, somewhere like that, you're not going to be putting much in those pockets.
No.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
So we'll say the pockets are fine.
Yeah.
And the button placket. I like that the button placket gives you a front slit for the midi dress, because you don't have to join the buttons all the way to the bottom of the hem, and then you get that nice, front split when you're walking, showing a little bit more leg.
I like the side splits as well. I think you're right. It just adds a bit of something to it. I agree. It's good.
Did you line your skirt?
Yes, just as per the pattern. So it's not particularly low, obviously, because of the splits. Mm-hmm. But I did. I thought, well, we're lining now. I've lined the sleeve, so I need to line the skirt. So.
Yeah, I didn't line my sleeves, but I did line the skirt as well, just because the lawn, although it's very pigmented, like the print, I don't think it's actually see-through.
No.
It just felt right to have the lining. Just feels a little bit more secure.
Yeah, and also in the pattern, you join the instructions talk you through joining the lining at that waist seam, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it is worth noting that if you are a little bit put off by the idea of having lining, there is a set of instructions where you can make the dress without lining.
Yeah.
So that would simplify it a lot,
Oh, definitely. And it'd still be a very nice finish. It's just the lining just gives it that more boutique-y kind of thing. And some fabrics are just not necessary. You don't need to line them.
No,
and
absolutely
it's finished
not.
by a bias.
As we always say, sometimes you just need a quick sew, you just need a garment. So that's probably a good way of, cutting out some time, not worrying about the lining if you're not worried. Yeah.
And it's worth noting that if you're making the lined version of the bodice, you don't need to cut the bias piece, because I, the little pattern piece in the pattern for the bias, I cut that out and I cut fabric, and then I realized I didn't need to do that. So just saving someone else a couple of minutes of their time if you're like me and didn't read the instructions properly.
Easy to do.
Yeah. I just thought, I'll just cut that out, but then didn't need it. So now I've got an extra piece of bias for something else.
Yeah. Great.
Did you have to adjust any of the darts at the back?
No, my darts were okay at the back.
Same.
Yeah.
They shape the
which is
back
unusual
nicely.
for me because I have a sway back and I normally have to take excess out there, but I didn't have to, which is really surprising.
Yeah, I think the drafting of this pattern is spot on.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
The adjustment advice and tutorials that are included on our website make this pretty I don't see how you have too many more questions about it after you looked at those videos, because they're just really comprehensive.
Yeah, it really takes you through step by step. Yeah, it's great. Really, really thorough.
There was one other adjustment that I made because I'm trying it on, making it do it a little bit more, trying it on. And I realized that I probably should have shortened the bodice a little bit more. So then I ended up sewing just at the front. And so I ended up sewing the waistband, I unpicked it and sewed it higher.
Yep.
And that gave me the adjustment that I needed.
And that was pretty much what I ended up doing on my twirl. So that I took that excess out of the middle. I unpicked the waistband and pulled it in one part slightly more than, so the waistband rather slightly more than the bodice. And it just got that really flat finish on the front there, which is where you need it. Yeah. Yeah,
because before I did that, the shoulder seams were actually going back. Over.
It's too long.
It was too long. And then, so I took it out of the front and that pulled it down. And then the shoulder seams came back where they belonged.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good to try on things. I mean, you got to be gentle.
You have got to be gentle, yeah.
But it is good to try on things.
Particularly on that V, because that V part is on the bias.
Yes.
And I think I've said in previous podcasts that it's always worth, if you are going to be trying it on, taking it off, taking it on, putting just a strip of interfacing there or just stop it from stretching out too much.
Yeah. I guess the thing is that it's quite early on in the pattern, in the instructions, you do the pleats, you do the shoulder seam, and then you attach the lining to the front. So you eliminate a lot of disaster on the V by doing that early on in the piece.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be trying it on without
until you've sewn that lining.
Yeah. Because it'd be dangerous.
Yeah, it would be very dangerous. I agree.
We like a little bit of danger, but we don't want to ruin the thing. I mean, if you accidentally stretch it out, is there any coming back from it? Can you like steam iron it a little bit? And
I think your best bet would just be what we were just talking about, and actually pulling out that excess in that seam between the waistband and the bodice. You could remove it that way.
Yeah. So once you've made the bodice, try it on, because it's easy access too, because the whole back is open.
Yeah, it is really easy. Yeah. Okay, Kylie, let's rate the Sia dress.
Okay, so we have a few categories and we rate them out of 5. And for size inclusivity, it goes from a size 2 to a size 22. That's actually one of the, like, some of the patterns don't go down that low, so I appreciate that because I'm a size 4. And size 22, it's certainly not the most inclusive, but it does include a lot of sizes.
Yeah, a pretty wide range of sizes. So
pretty wide range, but it's not one of the most inclusive patterns. So we gave it a 3.
Yeah, a 3, a good solid 3. So next we've got drafting.
And for drafting, we gave this pattern a 5.
It was really well drafted, came together really well, lots of notches.
Yes, we love those notches.
Yeah, really good.
What's next?
Okay.
Pricing?
Pricing. So I think it was a really reasonable pattern. It's 15 AUD.
Yep.
So we gave that $1 sign.
$1 sign. Yeah, I think for the amount of drafting, pattern information, all the online tutorials, that is just incredibly cheap. In fact, maybe too cheap.
It's very cheap. Yeah. Very, very reasonable. Yeah. And next we've got instructions. I really liked the fact that she added photographs in as well as written steps and diagrams. It was, again, really thorough.
Yeah, a lot of value there, a lot of information, and there's even more information that's not in the printed pattern that you can access for free. And next, what have we got?
We've done everything apart from overall. So
overall sewing stamps, sewing club stamps.
How many sewing club stamps are we going to give this pattern?
So overall, we rate the Sia dress 4 sewing club stamps. So a great pattern.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next month.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Sally, what's next month?
Okay, next month will be the Clo Bias Skirt from Soften Studios. And if you guys want to jump on Soften Studio website, you can pop in the discount code Sewing Club Podcast for a fun discount for the Clo Bias Skirt.
What's the discount?
20%.
Woohoo! 20%. I love this skirt. It's definitely having a moment.
Yeah, it's an excellent wardrobe staple.
Yes.
I think it just goes with everything, right?
And it's cut on the bias, so very nice to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am going to be stealing this from you, Kylie, when you're finished making it. I'm sorry.
Well, it comes together quickly. Maybe I can make a couple for the podcast.
Yeah.
And you can just choose which one you want.
Please do.
Yeah.
What made you guys pick this pattern?
Well, it's just it's a wardrobe basic, and it's cut on the bias. So we figured that maybe people might be a little scared, or I don't know what the word is.
Nervous
to try.
Yeah, trying, making a garment on the bias. It can be difficult at times, but there are some good tips to make it easier, and we thought we would cover that in the podcast.
Definitely. I think that there's a lot to talk about with making something on the bias, and it is a bit of work, but it's definitely worth it because you get this beautiful drapey molding to your body garment.
Absolutely. But it's also quite a simple sew too, which
Yes.
is really nice.
And I like that because we needed a bit of a palette cleanser after this more technical and detailed sew that we did for this one.
Yeah, anything that's fully lined is always going to be a bit more meaty, so it's nice to have something that's going to sew up nice and quickly.
And we can wear it straight away because it's the weather for it.
It's perfect Brisbane weather garment.
Yes.
So thanks so much for listening, everyone. We would love it if you could join our Facebook group, the Sewing Club podcast community, where we can share our makes and tips and tricks along the way.
And we have an Instagram as well, which is sewingclub.podcast. We have feedback forms attached to that. You can see our garments in the wild. We post videos there, and we love hearing all the feedback, so keep it coming.
We'd love it if you could subscribe, rate, review the podcast. All of that helps to get this podcast to as many people as possible.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Who knew Walmart Business could help a thriving office motivate their employees? Pamela knew. She uses Walmart Business to get the assortment of items her team needs at the prices she loves.
As the office manager, it's my job to make sure my team stays on top of their game. I can get the basics like cleaning supplies and paper towels, but what they really care about, snacks.
And she can get everything they need when they need it.
Greg loves wheat crackers, Brenda craves sour candy, and Max, oh boy, he needs protein bars and milk and applesauce
It's
and
Walmart,
jerky.
built for your business. Who knew?